Okay. Hi there. It's Friday, the sun's shining. What more could we want? Apart from a bit of crafting maybe for the weekend. I've got a couple of cards I'm going to make this morning. They're similar to ones that I've done recently in my card classes. So if you've attended those, then you'll just see a different version of them, slightly different colouring and stuff. If you haven't attended the card classes and you like the cards, then you can make them following this video. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera round and just bear with me while I transfer it down. If you are joining me this morning, then do say hello. It's always nice to know if I'm actually crafting and able to talk to some people, or whether it's just me. But either way, or if you're on the replay, then obviously that's great. Just pop a message in, let me know you've watched it on the replay as well. And if you're watching it over on YouTube and you fancy subscribing, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, so I've just noticed there's a bit of glue on there. I'll get that off. Okay, the first card I'm going to make today is this gatefold card that I designed. It's using the Merriest trees from last year's mini catalogue, but it is still in. It actually went into the main annual catalogue, and I really like these trees, so I thought I'm going to use them again. And this gorgeous paper, it's the got to remember what it's called, bear with me. I'm going to look it up because it's easier than trying to guess, and I can't find, well, I can't get at my pack without crushing about and making a lot of noise. So it's in the Season of Elegance suite, and it's actually called Season of Elegance, and it's beautiful, lots of gold in there. So we're going to be using that for the first card. And the Merriest trees, as I said, from previous. Okay, so I've already done the die cutting. I'm just going to do some scoring. Don't normally score on this really, but I will today. The card base is 8 inches by 5 3/4, so it fits into a standard size envelope from Stampin' Up. They're C6 envelopes, so these are our standard. Fits in there perfect. Okay, so along the 8-inch side, we're going to score first of all at the 2-inch mark. Okay, so that's 5.1 centimeters, and then we're going to score on the 6-inch. So we've got a 4-inch gap in the middle. Okay, so 6 inches is like 15.3 centimeters. Now I can get rid of that. Okay, so find my bone folder. I'm just gonna burnish those folds, and that's your card base. Okay, so the inside of my card, I've decided to use a small tree, and I'm going to stamp first of all on there. That's the only bit of stamping, is the bit in the middle. So I'm using the Peaceful Season stamp set, which is all part of that suite, and I'm going to use the Peace and Joy stamp. I just want to find where it is. I'll find my Stampin' Matte, and I'm using Old Olive to stamp the sentiment. Just okay, just get rid of the ink. Right, so as I say, that's the only piece of stamping on this card. We've got, again, out of the Merriest trees, I've got a big tree in the patterned paper. I've cut the big tree again in coordinating paper, but in cardstock, but you can use any colour cardstock because you won't see it. Then we've got the basket in crumb cake and 2 gold stars. Okay, now this is the layer that's going to go in the middle, and it's 3 3/4 inches by 5.5, so you're getting a small border around the outside. Like so. And then these 2 go on the front panels, and I think they go that way. You don't need to make sure you've got the paper in the order that you cut it. I just prefer that myself. These are 1 3/4 inches by 5.5. So again, you've just got that small border. And originally I did this with a white base, which works just as well. I don't know which I prefer yet, but I thought I'd try it on a coloured card base this time. Okay, so that's the base. We'll put the bit in the middle. Just make sure you leave enough distance at the top, enough space at the top for the star. Right, then we can pop that out the way for a minute. Okay, so the next bit, we're going to just stick this DSP tree, pattern paper tree, onto the cardstock tree. It's just to give it a bit more rigidity, is that a word? I'm not sure, but just to make it stronger. You'll see why shortly. And then I'm just going to stick this, put a little bit of glue on the basket, stick that roughly in the middle of the tray. Okay, so now I do need to bring my cutter back in. I'm not going to stick that on just yet. Okay, now ideally I would leave this to dry a little bit longer, but it should be fine. The glue does stick pretty well. And I'm lining it up now in this groove, and I'm going to cut it in half. So you can use this bit at the top to rest it against. You can measure it so it's roughly about there, or you can do it by eye. And you just want to cut it in half. Okay, and pop that down there. wrong card. Right, so we're going to stick one piece on. Again, you've got to make sure you leave enough room at the top for the star. I'm going to stick one piece on right up to the edge, and then we'll line up with the other one. Okay, so that's, as you can see, that's right on the edge there. And then the second one, so if you, to line them up, if you just close the flaps in, and then you can just squish it over a little bit with the Tombow just to get it right on the edge. And that's your tree glued on. Oops, sorry, made a noise picking those up. Right, for the star, we're just going to now, using a pair of scissors, cut it straight down the middle. And again, this similar thing, you're just going to stick it on. Excuse me. Lining it up. On that edge. Make sure you've got enough glue on there for it to stick, but without getting glue everywhere, really. Okay, so that's the first card, and I don't know, I like them both. So, which do you prefer, the white background or the cherry cobbler? Okay, so that's the first card. So that's using the Merriest trees and then the Season of Elegance designer series paper. This is the next card we're going to make, and just remembered I need to pick something up. Okay, right, but I'm going to make it this time using Pretty Peacock. Let's see how that works. I've got Pretty Peacock, Basic Beige, and then the gold. I'll get the rest of the bits out. So the trees on here are embossed, so I've gone ahead already and done that using this lovely embossing folder, the Painted Trees 3D embossing folder, and I've just used the two bigger trees. And I obviously didn't put my phone on Do Not Disturb, so I'm sorry about that. Thought I had. Let's see if I can just do that now. Otherwise it might keep on. Bear with me, Do Not Disturb. Okay, so sorry about that. It was school just, they have this class charts thing, and my daughter's just had an intelligence event apparently. Okay, so pretty peacock, then a layer of gold, then we've got basic beige, and this is again from the Season of Elegance Suite. Really nice dies. I'll show you the dies in a moment because there's some really lovely ones. And the stamps are the Peaceful Evergreen stamps in the same suite. Okay, so we've got our card base. Just trying to make sure I've got some room. Pop that out of the way. I'm going to use this metallics effect. I think we used it last year. We do quite a few different colours now. We do the gold, Christmassy colours, gold, silver, and I'm trying to think what the other one is, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And we also do it in a pearl, white, red, and black. You just need a blob of that, and with a sponge dauber I'm just gonna dab over the top of my embossed trees. You can put on as much or as little as you want. Just literally over the raised card. While I'm doing this, I'll just mention that for anyone local who likes cake and crafting, I've got an open house tomorrow morning for a bit of crafting and a bit of cake. Just really as a celebration of my 10 years as a demonstrator, and also it's World Card Making Day tomorrow. So it's a good excuse to get together and make a card. It's going to be using various kits that I've got so that you can sample what's in our kit collection. And we've got a really good sale on those at the moment, so that's even better. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that because that's plenty for my liking. Pop that out of the way, just to one side for it to dry. The inside, so the inside on my red one, I've got some trees under sentiment. So the trees are out of this stamp set. It's all out of the same suite, but this is the Peaceful Evergreens. And again, the sentiment is from the Peaceful Season. I might use a different sentiment today. Christmas. Don't know. There's too many to choose from. Maybe this one. What does this say? Hoping this season is bright and beautiful. So that will do. We'll pop that one on. And then I want my pretty peacock. Not going to stamp it right in the middle because I wanted to do the trees, but that one will be fine about there. And then with the trees, I'm just going to stamp partly on and partly off, and then I'm going to do a second generation stamp in the middle, just to make it a bit more like a forest, that one. Okay, we can get rid of the ink. I always like getting rid of the ink before I carry on, before I assemble, because otherwise, you know, knowing me, I would end up with ink everywhere, especially when they're dark colours. Okay, so that's the centre. This layer is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2, as is the gold layer. And then the embossed layer is 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. So it's just giving a small border all the way round. Oh, actually, I've forgotten the ribbon, so I won't stick that on just yet. We need some ribbon, and this one is the pretty peacock and gold, so it's a bit bigger, bit thicker than the other one, but it's still nice. I'm going to just pop a couple of glue dots. I'm going to have to do this without getting covered in glue now, so just sort of, I don't know, 1/2 inch maybe. Glue dots don't want to stick. So just stick one on roughly about the same place the other side. And then put one end of your ribbon on. Take it across the front. And stick it on the other one. You can cut that bit off or you can leave it on there, it's fine. It's a bit tight. Not being able to put it down because of the glue on the back makes this a bit trickier, but there. We'll just pop that on. I'll do the other bit of that in a moment. Now with this die, let me find the die and I'll show you. Again, it's the Peaceful Season dies. There's some really nice sort of sentiment dies, and you could use maybe this as a tag as well, but they're really nice. And this one is what I've used here, and you get the, turn it round, you get the background and then the gold I've cut out with in the wording. You just need to make sure when you're taking it off of your plates, when you've cut it, that you pick up your little dot for the eye, because it's obviously not joined. then we can just pop a little bit of glue on there. And stick the eye down, dot down. And then without putting too much glue on, just put some little dots. You could use the adhesive sheets as well to cut this out on the gold. Save having to put tiny dots of glue on. But it doesn't take long. And then you've got, I don't know whether you'll be able to see this, I'm trying to see. You've got like a line and it shows you where to put the actual letters so that you can get it lined up. Just squidge. Okay, so, and obviously that one, I think I've got 2 bits of card there, so I've actually cut it out twice, but there we go. So that's that bit. And then I'm just going to stick that on some Tombow. I'm going to put it on a bit of a slant. Right, to finish off the bow, it's a fake bow. So I'm just going to thread a piece of ribbon through. And tie it in a knot. Trim the edges down. And then last but not least, we've got some, you can faff around with that a bit if you want to, get it in the right place. We've got some lovely gold, they're sparkly, I think they've got, what are they called? Gold textured adhesive-backed dots. Just gonna keep sticking to everything at the moment, so my patches come off. Stick in somewhere else, stick in there. Okay, so again, exactly the same card, just in a different colour, and looks slightly different. And then the gatefold also slightly different, using a coloured base. Right, so I hope that's given you some ideas today and inspires you a bit to try some different things. This metallic enamel effect stuff works really well as you can do it as dots. You just need to let it dry, so sit it to one side and let it dry before you put it in an envelope. But you can effectively use it for embellishments and stuff as well. So and you can add water to it, and do a bit of like watery gold. There's all sorts you can do with these things. Anyway, okay, well, thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.